Well, hi, friends. Today I'm here in Vienna, Austria. It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon, and behind me you'll see St. Stephen's Cathedral. It's a gorgeous cathedral, and what I want you to do for a minute is take a look at this cathedral. I'll step over to the side, but notice the top part of the cathedral with the spire that's actually being renovated right now is dark, very dark, and the one to my right, right up here, is light and clear and looks new and refreshed. Well, the point is, during the Second World War, the cathedral, among other things here, were bombed. There was a fire, and the fire tore down the roof and blackened much of this area. And so since World War II, they've been restoring this, and it's sandstone, so the walls didn't fall down, but they had to restore the walls, and so they have to use a laser technology. And over time, now since World War II, so for many years, 70 years or so, they've been replacing this and redoing and restoring meticulously this beautiful cathedral. Well, as I looked at this today, looked at the old and then look at the new, and think of the time it's taken to see transformation happen, it's made me think about your life and my life, and seeing our own lives transformed. Now, I know you may have experienced something in your life, or many things in your life, where you say, look, my life is dark, like this dark cathedral. It's filled with dark shadows. It's filled with horrors. I had terrible experiences as a child. Perhaps you were abused or somehow hurt deeply, or you had a marriage or a relationship fail on you, or you had other conflicts, or you had financial disasters, or frankly, you just went off the deep end and got into addictions, or did things that were illegal, and you say, look, my life cannot change. I'm an old person. That's who I am. I don't care whether I'm young and have had all of that. That's the rest of my life, or whether I'm older and that's going to be the rest of my life. And I want you to know that's not true. The same way this beautiful cathedral could be restored to its original beauty through meticulous, careful work and a caring hand of a craftsman, so your life can be transformed. I know that one of my favorite characters is in the Bible. His name's the Apostle Paul. He was called Saul before that. He was the one who was guilty of persecuting the Christians in the first century. He actually would set them up to be killed and stoned, and he was a religious guy, and he was attacking them because he thought they were threatening the growth of his particular form of Judaism. And so he was a very religious, tough enforcer, basically. And then he had an experience, according to the scriptures, where he came face to face essentially with God and the purpose and the person of Jesus. And he had a conversion and a transformation in his life, and he went on then to be certainly the most prolific writer in the New Testament, a leader in the New Testament, and became one who planted churches and actually helped turn the world right side up by the infusion of the Christian faith at the very best elements of it in New Testament time. This affected people today, including me. My life's been transformed by things he has taught and learned, things that I've learned by looking at his life and trying to live out the way he lived as a man, not as the God-man Jesus, but as a man in flesh who had fallen and came out of that incredibly horrible background to become a real leader in his faith, and a man who helped change the world, arguably one of the most influential men in history. Certainly one of the most influential in my life. And you say, well, that was then, and that was a big deal, but it's not possible today. Look at a couple of my associates are working right now in some prisons in state filled with recidivists. Now, these are really tough guys that have gone to prison, got out, couldn't find jobs, got in trouble again, went back again, and their lives were dark, like this cathedral in the background. And yet they started working with my friends in courses based on a lot of the key content that I teach, and my friends have gone alongside of them and taught them for 13 weeks at a time, where they'll communicate good content to them on how to live, the kind of things we're talking about now, how to turn their life into a masterpiece. and then they'll show them how to apply that to their life and give them a lot of homework and assignments, and then they'll get them in engagement groups where they're accountable and supportive to one another. And the stories of transformation have been stunning. These lives are being changed, and these guys from all sorts of backgrounds are being truly transformed as they start to get their lives in alignment with principles. And in this case, our guys are using a faith-based approach, so they're learning about how to become people of faith and how to have the kind of experience the Apostle Paul experienced with Jesus and that I've experienced over the years, and transformations taking place. The point is, they had a history of building a gnarly old, dark, hardened facade and life, very much like this spire in the background. But through time and effort and discipline, getting the right principles in their mind, putting them to work, applying them, and then engaging with others to be accountable and supportive, and then increasingly to reproduce those in others. As a result of that, they're seeing the darkness become light again, a restoration, a transformation. And that can happen in your life. So I want you to keep watching this image, think about this video, and put this to work in the days to come. Remember, you are not stuck. You are not your history. You're not defined by your mistakes. In fact, your life can be a new life. And you can experience forgiveness, by the way. You can turn to God and He'll forgive you. When I was young, my life was young, but it was a bit of a mess. And I remember saying to God, God, I know I've sinned against you. I believe Jesus died for me on the cross, and that you love me, and that I'm forgiven. And please, I admit to you my sinfulness. Please forgive me and make me the kind of person you want me to be. And that began a change in my life. And by the way, I've worked to apply that all the rest of my life, and you can too. But that began the process of transformation. And Lord willing, my life's going from that darkness to that light increasingly as I progress from glory to glory into God's likeness. And that's what God wants to do in your life. So put that to work, will you? Hey, if you like this stuff, like it, on the YouTube page, or certainly on the blog. If you like this, talk to us, give us your feedback, and then pass this on to others, because my whole objective is to try to help people like you and your friends and your family make a life and not just a living. So put it to work. Thanks. Ron signing off from Stephan Square, St. Stephan Cathedral here in Vienna, Austria.